They promised her forever. The air in that hallway tasted like metal and broken vows. A'ja Wilson stood outside the general manager's office, hand on the door handle, still believing in loyalty. Still trusting the franchise she'd given 7 years of her life to. Still thinking championships meant something beyond the trophy ceremony. Inside, 3 people waited to destroy her world. No warning, no phone call preparing her, no courtesy of honesty before the ambush. Just a meeting request at 4:17 p.m. on a Tuesday in February, and a decision already made without the woman who built their dynasty. What happened in the next 11 minutes didn't just shatter A'ja Wilson. It exposed how franchises treat loyalty like currency. Spend it freely, discard it easily, and never look back when the balance runs out. This is the story of the $28 million betrayal, and the woman who gave everything to people who were always planning to give her away. 7 years ago, A'ja Wilson saved the Las Vegas Aces. They were the joke of the league. Relocated from San Antonio just 1 year earlier, no identity, no stars, no hope. Then they drafted a 21-year-old from South Carolina with championship DNA in her blood and fire in her eyes. She gave them everything: MVP seasons, scoring titles, defensive dominance. She transformed the Aces from afterthought to dynasty, dragging them to their first championship in 2022, then another in 2023. Back-to-back titles, 2 finals MVPs, the face of the franchise, the heart of Vegas basketball. And the Aces loved her, publicly. Ownership praised her leadership. Management called her untouchable. Coaches built everything around her gravity. Teammates worshipped her work ethic. But beneath the championship celebrations and the MVP speeches, something was shifting. According to 4 people with direct knowledge of internal discussions, the Aces ownership group held a private meeting in early November. Topic: the financial future of the franchise in the WNBA's new economic landscape. The league's upcoming TV deal was projected to explode. Expansion teams were bidding wars. Salary cap structures were being renegotiated. And suddenly, max contracts that made sense in 2023 looked like financial anchors in 2026. A'ja's current deal: 4 years, $939,000 total. By WNBA standards in 2023, the maximum. By 2026 standards, with the new TV money flooding in, criminally underpaid for a player of her caliber. She was eligible for a Supermax extension, 5 years, $28 million, the largest contract in WNBA history. Money that would cement her legacy in Vegas, reward her loyalty, acknowledge that she was the foundation everything else was built on. The Aces ownership decided something else. In December 2025, the Aces quietly sold 65% ownership to a private equity group from Los Angeles. The transaction, reported by ESPN on December 19th, but largely ignored in the holiday news cycle, brought $42 million in capital to the franchise. New owners, new priorities, new calculations about which players were investments versus expenses. And A'ja Wilson, despite being the only reason the franchise had any value to sell, was about to be recalculated. January 8th, A'ja's agent reaches out to discuss extension timeline. Aces request a few more weeks. January 22nd, agent follows up. Aces say they're evaluating cap situation. February 5th, A'ja texts GM directly. Read receipt shows 4:02 p.m. No response. February 11th, meeting scheduled for February 18th. Subject line: contract discussion. A'ja walked into that meeting thinking they were negotiating terms, salary structure, years, incentives. She was wrong. They weren't there to negotiate a contract. They were there to explain why she didn't have a future in Las Vegas. A'ja sits down, confused but not worried. She built this. They need her more than she needs them. The general manager clears his throat, shuffles papers, won't make eye contact. A'ja, thank you for coming. We wanted to discuss the team's direction moving forward. Not your contract, not your future, the team's direction, as if she's separate from it. We've made some difficult decisions about our cap structure and roster construction for the next competitive window. Competitive window, like she's not in her prime. like 26 years old is retirement age. With the new ownership group's investment strategy and the salary cap projections for the next 3 years, we've determined that committing $28 million to a single player, even one of your caliber, limits our flexibility to build a balanced roster. Asia's smile is gone now. Her hands resting on the table start to tremble just slightly. What are you saying? The GM finally looks at her, eyes empty of the warmth she's seen for 7 years. We're not offering you an extension, and we're open to trade discussions if you want to explore opportunities elsewhere. The room tilts, walls close in. Championship banners visible through the window behind the executives suddenly feel like someone else's accomplishments. You're trading me? Not necessarily trading you, the chief operating officer interjects, as if word choice makes betrayal less brutal. We're giving you options. You can play out your final year here, or we can facilitate a move to a team that has the cap space for what you're worth. What she's worth. They just decided she's worth more to someone else than she is to the team she built from nothing. I won you 2 championships. We appreciate everything. I was MVP. Twice. I gave you 7 years of my life. I turned down bigger endorsement deals to stay here. I am the Las Vegas Aces. The GM's response is a masterclass in corporate emptiness. The business landscape has evolved. This isn't about your contributions. Then what is it about? Nobody answers. Because the truth that private equity prioritizes financial flexibility over loyalty, that new owners care about balance sheets more than banners, is too ugly to say out loud. Asia stands up, chair scraping against floor, sound sharp as breaking glass. 7 years, she whispers, voice gone cold. I could have gone anywhere. Phoenix wanted me. LA wanted me. Connecticut was building around me if I pushed for a trade. I stayed because you told me this was home. You promised forever. The silence that follows is suffocating. No one contradicts her. Because they did promise. In championship celebrations, in contract signing press conferences, in private meetings reassuring her that Vegas was her franchise for life. They lied. She doesn't storm out, doesn't slam anything, just walks to the door, hand on handle, and turns back. You just told every future star that loyalty means nothing here. Good luck building your balanced roster when nobody trusts you. Adrian Wojnarowski tweets at 7:43 p.m. Las Vegas Aces and 2-time MVP A'ja Wilson have mutually agreed to explore trade possibilities, sources tell ESPN. Multiple teams expressing interest. Mutually agreed. The lie sold to the public. The sanitized version of a franchise discarding loyalty like expired merchandise. By 9 p.m., 6 teams have reportedly reached out to Vegas. Phoenix, New York, Dallas, Connecticut, Chicago, Minnesota. Everyone wants her. Because everyone except the team she built recognizes what she's worth. One post, black background, white text. 7 years, 2 championships, nothing guaranteed. The Aces dynasty just imploded, and they did it to themselves. The fallout is immediate and catastrophic. Season ticket holders flood the Aces customer service lines demanding refunds. We paid to watch A'ja Wilson, one longtime fan tells local media. If she's gone, what are we paying for? According to 3 people familiar with Aces internal metrics, season ticket renewals dropped 34% within 72 hours of the trade news breaking. Merchandise sales, 80% of which featured A'ja, crater. Local sponsorship partners request emergency meetings to discuss brand alignment concerns. Brianna Stewart tweets, "This is what we mean when we say the business is broken." Sabrina Ionescu posts, "Loyalty is supposed to matter. This is devastating." Diana Taurasi, never one to stay quiet. "If this is how you treat a 2-time champion, why would anyone believe your promises?" The WNBA Players Association releases a statement calling for transparent communication about roster decisions affecting franchise cornerstones. Translation, what the Aces did to A'ja is exactly why players don't trust teams. But here's where the betrayal becomes truly insidious. A'ja now has to decide what matters more. Staying in Vegas for one final season, Giving everything to a franchise that just told her she's disposable? Or demanding an immediate trade, leaving the city that embraced her, but the organization that abandoned her? Sources close to A'ja describe her as devastated but resolute. She wants out. But where? Phoenix Mercury. Has cap space, needs a franchise cornerstone, competitive roster. New York Liberty. Maximum market, championship contender, can offer the Supermax immediately. Chicago Sky. Building a young core, would make her the undisputed centerpiece, huge endorsement market. Connecticut Sun. Emerging powerhouse, strong organizational reputation, respects veteran leadership. Each team offers something different, but none offer what Vegas was supposed to. Home. And for the teammates A'ja leaves behind, the locker room that once radiated championship confidence now feels like a funeral. According to two players who spoke anonymously, team morale is shattered. How do you compete for a title when management just proved they'll discard anyone, no matter what they've accomplished? If they did that to A'ja, one teammate whispers, none of us are safe. The WNBA trade deadline is April 15th, 8 weeks away. 8 weeks for A'ja to decide if she forces a trade immediately or suffers through a farewell season with a franchise that made it clear she's unwelcome. Insiders suggest the Aces are asking for a historic package in trade talks. Multiple first-round picks, all-star caliber players, salary filler. They want to be compensated for losing the woman they chose to push away. The audacity is breathtaking. And A'ja? She's working out in silence, not speaking to media, not addressing the betrayal publicly beyond that single Instagram post. But make no mistake, her silence isn't acceptance, it's calculation. She's deciding how to make them pay. Remember those 3 people waiting to destroy her world? They promised her forever. That wasn't a lie when they said it. It was conditional. Forever meant as long as the finances work. Home meant until new ownership has different priorities. Loyalty meant we expect yours, but don't count on ours. 3 possible futures exist now, each one haunting in different ways. Future 1. A'ja gets traded to a contender, wins a championship somewhere else, makes the Aces look like the franchise that let greatness walk away. Vegas becomes a cautionary tale, the team that chose balance sheets over banners. Future 2. A'ja stays for her final contract year, plays out the season with professionalism masking heartbreak, then leaves in free agency for nothing. The Aces get 0 return on 7 years of investment, and she gets the satisfaction of making them watch her leave on her terms. Future 3. The Aces realize their catastrophic mistake. New ownership reverses course. They offer the Supermax, apologize, beg her to stay, and A'ja has to decide if some betrayals are too deep to forgive, even when regret comes crawling back. Which future happens? Even A'ja Wilson doesn't know yet. But what she learned in that 11-minute meeting is something every athlete fears and every franchise hopes they forget. Loyalty is one-directional in professional sports. Players are expected to bleed for franchises that wouldn't hesitate to trade them when the numbers change. A'ja Wilson gave the Las Vegas Aces 7 years, 2 championships, her prime, her trust. They gave her 11 minutes and a suggestion she might be worth more somewhere else. Will she force the trade? Will she stay and make them suffer watching her brilliance one last time? Will the Aces wake up and fix this before it's too late? Nobody knows. But one thing's certain, the woman who built a dynasty just watched it collapse. And the team that destroyed it is about to learn what happens when you betray loyalty. So here's your question. Is A'ja right to demand a trade? Or should she stay and finish what she started, even with a franchise that proved they don't deserve her? Which side are you on? Drop it below. We're reading every comment. Because this isn't about one player or one team. This is about what athletes owe franchises and what franchises owe the legends who build them.